Hello. Hello. Oh, good morning. We're going to start. We're from LOYMARK, and today we're going to talk to you initially what we do as a company and why we started using Sitefinity, and then we'll go into an example of the Subway case that is one of our clients. We're a company based in Costa Rica, and we have offices in Mexico, and we have done work for different companies in Latin America. We are a technology company that focuses on solutions towards the marketing side of the business. We help our clients to generate experiences and databases from their clients. Our objectives in general, it's to give our clients the possibility to interact with their clients and generate customer-centric strategies. The idea is to be able to identify the client and their behavior, and from there, being able to generate segmentations and interactions, and through different channels, and through those interactions, modified behavior. Initially, or basically what we do, as we say, how are we going to collect the data, which technologies we're going to use, and then how are the strategies that will be designed, and which ideas in terms of communication in order to change behavior, and how are we going to measure those strategies. So it's part technology, part marketing, what we do. In the beginning, we started doing rewards programs, and the idea was people go to the store and how we're going to identify them to generate a database, and that was through loyalty programs. We analyze the data, and then we interact with the customers. Then we moved and we started generating the web part, and we started using Sitefinity and generating also web strategies, digital strategies. So we can move people either to the web, or if it's an e-commerce, to the e-commerce, or to the store, and in both cases, look to identify the client. And from their analytics, and then not just direct marketing, that was what we were doing at the beginning, but how that data from the rewards programs and what we were collecting through the web would affect the digital strategy. So we amplified the business we were in when we started working the web part with Sitefinity. As a company, we do two parts. One is development. So we have a rewards platform that works for retail and banking. We generate an analytics solution that, based on the data we collect from the rewards programs or for the e-commerce, we analyze. And as I said, the idea is to be able to generate segments and then to different channels to interact with clients. The e-commerce solution was born as a redemption engine for the rewards programs, and then we started getting clients that needed specifically an e-commerce solution. And the front end of all of this is based on Sitefinity. And at the end, we have a department which is performance marketing. That is how we're going to get traffic to our solutions in order to generate conversions and generate sales. So that's what we do. In the case of Subway, that we work for them in Costa Rica, we started over 15 years ago working. We approached them because they had their reward programs, their stamps. And we proposed them to generate the loyalty program and get a card with a band and be able to identify their customers. And last year, we changed that to the wallet. So right now, we have identified 50% of all the transactions that Subway makes. So we know who buys what, when, and where. So we know how people behave either in the e-commerce part on when they go to stores. And based on that, we create different segments and, as I said, interactions. And even though Subway, the product is, let's say, homogeneous, and when you buy, you cannot make a lot in terms of buy twice as much. It has been a very interesting process of how people behave. If you offer them to come next week, if you give them a free cookie, you see an increment in sales, or nothing beats a free avocado extra. And we have done different strategies, and we have been how different segments respond to different things. And that's what we have been doing with them. With our analytics, in the first part, we look at general information, male, female, how sales are, how sales go for each day of the week, at different times of the day, and which products sell, who buys which products, and we're able to do that very rapidly. And then we work with a value segmentation. Initially, we do an RFM, so we are able initially to who are our best clients, more recent, who buys with more frequency and the most amount, then who are the ones we can affect the amount, or who should we affect in terms of frequency. And then we go to analyze who is buying what. So we make a combination of that to generate different strategies. Part of the Cortesa tool, we generate the segments we want for a certain restaurant, or who buys which kind of product. We use Microsoft tools in terms of predictive analytics. So we use similarity analysis. So who behaves like this, but is not buying certain product, we generate a segment, and from there a campaign, or who should be buying us in the next 3 weeks and try, or in the next month, and then try to bring that, who's going to buy a certain product next month, and we try to accelerate the process so we affect frequency. And we do that in terms of communication by email, and as I told you, we changed last year to the wallet, so we now can send push notifications, and we can also send alerts through geolocalization when we know someone is a certain hour close to a restaurant, or also when they enter the restaurant through the beacons, we can send a notification also to the client. That is the loyalty part that we started working with them. And then a couple of years ago, we started doing the e-commerce part. And that was when Sitefinity came in. And we generated a front end that unifies the loyalty part with the e-commerce solution. And also, we started working in how to get people to the e-commerce. Now, Gustavo will present you how are we working with the e-commerce part.
Hello. Okay, first of all, thank you for joining this session. I know it's the last day of the conference, and it's just the session just right before lunch, so I'll try to be quick and to the point. So we're going to present you the case, what we did for Subway Costa Rica in the past 15 years. And I am Gustavo Rodriguez. I am a developer for LOYMARK, and I've been working for this company for more than 15 years now. So to start off, I'm going to give you a brief history of how the project came to be, how we developed it, and how it evolves to what it is today. So the first version of the site was released in 2008. It was built, sorry to be a little bit technical about this, but it was released on an earlier version of the ASP.NET platform. So it was kind of unflexible, and at the time, it was okay. It was okay, but it didn't age that well. It was a little bit tight and squared. So for the next couple years, it remained unchanged and untouched until in 2016, Subway saw the necessity to modernize and improve and bring more life to the site. So they started looking through new ways and new technologies to make it better. And 2018, now it's basically the stuff that Paul told you about. We integrated the wallet. We started doing some promotions that I'm going to talk to you in a couple minutes. And that brings us to us today. Okay, now to go back a little bit, in 2016, so when we started building that platform, and Subway came to us with the challenges on how to modernize it. At that time, the actual platform was built, customized for each client that came into the portfolio for LOYMARK. So we managed a bunch of versions, so it was really hard to maintain or integrate everything as a single product. That brought us a bunch of challenges, meaning it was very difficult to scale the platform. The maintenance was real high, and the use of the resources was really inefficient. As the movie, I don't know if you saw it, The Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. In this case, if you build it, you will support it. So we had a lot of people working, but everyone was specialized on a single client. So it was really hard to scale in that section. So at that time, we stopped there. We made a stop, and we decided to extract functionalities from the platform and create products from it. So we identified the loyalty platform, we call it Canoe. We identified the data analytics, and we call it Corteza. We identified the digital strategy, and we call it Cocoon. We extracted the wallet portion, or the actual ID card of the members, extracted as a separate function that we can actually sell separately. We don't have a name, we just call it the wallet. And last but not least, because of the challenges that Subway brought to us, presented to us, we knew that we needed to build a specific tool centralized to manage all the assets from an e-commerce perspective, meaning stores, opening hours, products, and all those kinds of things. So that's what we started developing, what we call the core ability. Now, in order to build that platform, we kind of gather a list of different challenges that the food industry proposed. For example, that you need to manage the store hours, you need to manage their inventory, you need to define the areas of the delivery service, and when you need to do that centralized on a specific tool. So we build the core ability. Okay. In this tool, you can actually go into it and see some KPIs and a bunch of insights from the e-commerce, and it's presented to you as the first kind of a screen. And then you can start manage all the different assets. For example, the store hours managed individually. You can define the opening hours, all of those stores. You can define the services that each of the stores provide. For example, if one of the Subways, in this case, the case of Subway, they have the delivery service, they have the pickup service, they provide breakfast or do not provide breakfast. They needed a specific tool to define the coverage of the delivery areas, because there are some parts of Costa Rica that needs to be separated. So they needed a specific tool that we built using the Google Maps service, where they can draw the specific polygons and they can define the area of coverage. Okay. As I think you all know, that Subway, the products are highly customizable, meaning a sandwich has a ton of combinations, a ton of ingredients. So we needed to build a tool that was good enough for Subway, but good enough for us to implement it with other clients. So we had to build a generic solution to create those products and maintain them. And also to assign those products to the specific stores, because some stores, they do not provide some of the products, some others, they do. Some products can be available, for example, only at the morning, some others in the evening, some others in the night, so they can manage all that in that specific tool. And as I told you about, Subway has many ingredients, so they needed a specific kind of a placeholder for them to manage it, okay? Also, the products can be combined as combo or offers that can be offered. And now that we have the core ability and the rest of the tools, we kind of created a specific map of all the different services that we could provide. We need the loyalty, core ability, the data analytics, the digital strategy. We knew that we needed to build landing pages, the gamification part, and social network. Now, we are good in all those areas. Now we needed to have a centric partner that can help us concentrate, centralize all those different functionalities, and potentiate the client and give them control so they can create and manage their own content. So we look all over the internet and a lot of places with consulting people to start gathering a tool that can help us, meaning provide the CMS portion, but also to integrate some programming into the platform so we can integrate waterfall tools. Now, in order to search that kind of pattern, we needed someone to be compatible with the technologies that we already use at the moment, which was we develop sites in Angular, HTML, the backend in Microsoft.NET, Node.js, and Microsoft SQL Server. So if you gather all those kinds of things, Sitefinity was a really good candidate because it basically uses all those technologies and it matched really well with the technology stack that we had. So we chose Progress Sitefinity as the centralized kind of the thing that bonds all the different products together. In that particular slide, to the right, you'll see 3 colored balloons with 3 major kind of promotions that Subway did, and we're going to talk to you in a couple minutes, which are interesting for the Sitefinity part. But first, I'm going to tell you how we integrate all those different tools. For example, we use Sitefinity to create the pages, and we build the widgets that can actually connect to the loyalty platform from LOYMARK and start pulling some data, I mean points, transactions, all those kinds of things, and present that into the pages that we created. All that information, the client has the power to modify those pages and drag them all around, as you can see in Sitefinity, and modify them. And we also integrate the wallet as part of the entire platform. Okay, the core ability. This was a really fun part to build for me as a developer, meaning to build a sandwich in Subway, it's quite difficult. They have a bunch of combinations. So all that you see in that specific screenshot of a page is basically a bunch of widgets that we built. So they can drag into the screen, and it fits depending on the selection that they have. Everything is filtered, but also not only by the selection of the ingredients of the different categories, but also the address that you have. So the customer first selects which restaurant he wants to receive the food from, meaning the delivery area or something like that. And all the information that is being populated into the widgets gets filtered by geolocation. So it's part of the core ability integration that we did with Sitefinity. Now, in terms of data analytics and digital strategy, our products, Corteza and Cocoon, now they were completely separate and segregated from the platform, and they can be fed through those data that is analyzed to the site, and everything gets funneled into the data analytic tools. Now, the first case that was really interesting to integrate with Sitefinity with Subway was the Combina 2, which means mix 2. That particular promotion, they gave the customers the ability to mix 2 different set of products by a special promotion price and communicate it to the client. So what they did, what you see here in this specific area, in this particular screenshot, is basically a page, which is a template that we built in Sitefinity that we put in place for the client to use. So we created like 6 or 7 templates for them to do whatever they want. So they actually created the images, the text, and all those kinds of things. They created the page. They started dragging and dropping all the things that they wanted, and they created kind of the mini landing site. Then they created the communications, and they send it through social networks like Facebook, and then link that to a specific page and create some traffic to it, and potentially create conversions and sell some subs. And the results for that particular promotion was quite interesting. In the blue line on top, you see the 2017 line. The green line represents the next year, which it was a hard year. And the one in the middle represents how well it went when the promotion got in place. So in that case, they managed to raise 2.14% the average ticket just by doing that specific promotion, meaning creating the landing page and doing the promotion, driving traffic to the site. The other one, which is more on the gamification side, is called Subway Tour. On a specific month in 2018, they wanted to create a promotion where customers had the challenge to visit as many Subway restaurants as they can potentially have in 1 month. So every time they visit, they use the wallet, and they got scanned in the POS, and that got translated into a digital stamp. That particular page is a widget that we built for them that is fed through our loyalty program and represents the stamps digitally. Now, the person with the most stamps by the end of the month was going to win a year worth of subs, free subs. The thing is that 2 people did it. It was a tie, so free subs for 2 people. So that was happened. So it's a small video. I'm going to skip it. Let me see if it plays. If it plays. No, obviously it did not. All right. Sorry about that. I knew I needed to skip it. Okay. Search. Sorry. Okay. So for the Subway tour, the results were quite interesting in terms of just in that specific month, they managed to grow the combo purchases, meaning that's packaged products, by 54%. The average tickets, 5.9%, and the total web purchases on that single month grew 12.4%. So it's something that was quite interesting. It generated a lot of talking in the social networks, so it was a very fun promotion that they performed. Other numbers are just like you're seeing here. There are 2 spikes in terms of new users per month. The first one is the one in the left, is the time when Subway released the digital card. When they moved from stamps to digital card, they saw a spike in the user that got registered into the site. And the second one was the Subway tour, when they actually saw a spike in the new users per month. So it created an interesting engagement with the client. And now all the 90% of the users that they have are digital. So they basically move everyone from stamps to something that you can identify and you can engage with. And 43% of those are active and digital. So it's quite interesting. Now, this third promotion is called Acete de Oro, which is kind of a make yourself golden. It's the highest category that they have. And they, with the help of LOYMARK, they identified, they have 3 levels, I believe it's 3, bronze, silver, and gold. Being bronze the lower level, gold the upper level. So they managed to identify that some bronze customers, they are similar to the golden ones. So they started thinking, how do we manage to make that population move from bronze to gold and increase their frequency, recency, and the amount and the average ticket? So they are building communications based on what we know and the insights that we provide on the customers to understand what they normally don't purchase, normally don't consume, generate a specific communication to them, and start moving them from bronze to gold. So that's something that they are working on. It's not yet published, but it's something that they are working on. And now to conclude, I'm going to leave you with some brands that same specific case that we use for Subway. Once we end up with Subway, we manage that specific platform and we migrate it to a different other clients. So it basically it was a learning curve that we used with Subway, and we managed to implement that same pattern in a different food industry. For example, the one you see is Rosti Pollos, which is a chicken rotisserie. Papa John's, no. Denny's, Spoon, which is a cafeteria. You can say it like that. Fitchel, which is on the other side, it's a pharmacy. So in that case, we kind of the use case was interesting because it is not related to the food industry, but we managed to use the same scenarios, the same platform, into a specific other business niche. And Bottega, which is, I believe, is a wine distributor. Wine and food, exactly. So in all those cases, we managed to integrate Sitefinity and use them as the centralized tool for for creating this platform. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have any questions. Cool. Yeah.
How does the wallet piece work to mobile devices? You have to write it.
Okay.
Write it when it wants,
No, actually, the wallet particularly is a technology that works really well standalone. It was built standalone. It started with Apple, but you can integrate it into Android as well. But it is a standalone. So it's something that whenever, for example, some clients, they don't want the entire loyalty platform. They just want to provide a channel for the clients to send a push notification or something like that. So in those cases, the easiest way is that we generate a specific micro landing. We call it a micro landing where the people can register. It asks for a bunch of personal data, small form. They can fill it up. And it actually downloads the wallet to the device. So it's very easy. It's something that we use as I don't want to call it a template. It's denigrating it. It's kind of a template that we change the colors on the logo. We put it in place. The people register, and the wallet gets downloaded on both the devices. But it's a completely standalone platform. It doesn't need to integrate the Sitefinity part or the database part or the data analytics. It's something that can be completely standalone. In that case, it only uses the loyalty part because, that has two parts, because you need to integrate to the POSs and the ERPs and all those kinds of things. Now you're talking about integration with the loyalty platform, which is a different set. That's a completely different scenario that requires some integration and some customization that needs to be worked with the clients. But if you only want to communicate and use it as a channel, you can actually do it, because you are capturing the information from the people. They are downloading the wallet, and that's it. You can actually have a channel so you can send push notifications. But other than that, if you don't integrate with the POS, there's nothing more that you can do, really. Okay. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the lunch, and thank you so much. Yeah.